let's look at kind of you've been involved in some of kind of football's fiercest rivalries over your career, whether at various different clubs. In your opinion, which is the best rivalry that you've been involved in?
Well, I'd say the most hostile was probably El Clasico.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really have away supporters in Spain, so it's just intense hatred towards those people on the pitch. I mean, I always remember going to the stadium from the hotel. You know, if someone throws a little can of Pepsi or something at a bus nowadays, it's like, oh my word, you know, let's fine the club and things like that. I mean, we had rocks and rocks and rocks. I mean, we were all, the whole team were in the aisle of the bus, basically undercover, for fear that the next rock that was shattering the whole of the bus, the windows, the next one could come through and we're just going to get showered with glass. So we were all basically squashed together in the central aisle of just getting to the burn.
Did that ever impact you when you
camp.
got on the pitch? Did that ever?
No.
It was done. As soon as you got in the ground, it was, you know, to business.
Definitely, yeah. And even then, I mean, yeah, you don't want a brick coming through you. Yeah. But you're still focused on, you know, this is such a huge game. So that was before we even got to the ground. And then, of course, we've all seen the pigs' heads and things like that getting thrown onto the pitch. But that atmosphere is very hostile. And that's probably the most hostile game that I've played in.
So thinking closer to home, in terms of the Merseyside derby, what does that derby mean to you?
Well, that was the derby that gave me sleepless nights when I was a kid. So, I mean, me and Carrie used to room together, and we used to always love playing at Goodison. Going into the Lions' Den, there's something about being an underdog. Not necessarily an underdog, but something about going somewhere where you're, you know,
you've got a point to prove.
Where you've got a point to, where everyone's against you. That togetherness, that, you know, you'd run through a brick wall for each other. It's easier. You get so many players that are great players at home. You know, they've got people singing their name and they've got more space and all the rest of it. You see the true players when you go into the real places and perform, you know, against the odds, let's say. So going to Goodison, where you were, you know, booed and hated and jeered and everything else, was always a favourite type of game for us.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, your dad played for Everton, right?
Yeah.
You were a boyhood Everton fan, correct? So has there been any conflict in the family when those games came around? Was there any?
Well, no, my dad played for Everton as a kid, and he supported Liverpool and played for Everton because Everton wanted him, signed him, and I only supported Everton because my dad played for them. But then Liverpool came in and I joined Liverpool, and then
so there was never any in-house rivalry?
Well, my brother's probably my eldest brother was a big Everton fan, but you know, I didn't live in the city. When I say we were fans, I mean, yeah, I would cry if Liverpool, when Ian Rush scored in the FA Cup final, it knocked the camera over, and I was big Everton fan at the time. I mean, that made me cry. You know, I wouldn't say, you know, once I play in the first team, of course my brother wants Liverpool to win. His own flesh and blood is playing for Liverpool, so we weren't big enough fans, let's say, that it's life or death. But yeah, I had all the kits and wanted to be an Everton player.
So another key derby is the Liverpool-Man United. It's an obvious rivalry. Is this a fixture you immediately look for at the start of the season? Is that one that pops out for you as a player?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, in my day, obviously Man United were dominating. There's no two ways about it. We can dress it up how we like, but Man United were the best team, and it didn't half wind me up and wind us up. So yeah, you wanted to knock them off the perch at the time. So the Everton game, it's the derby, but I think if you'd asked us back then, who do you want to beat more, you'd probably say Manchester United, because we had aspirations of trying to win the league, and Everton at the time weren't, you know, a challenger for the league, let's say. So Man United game was probably the first game you'd look at.
So can we get your head-to-heads for that? What are your predictions?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Man United this year. Obviously, it's quite a negative vibe at the time. But the problem is, like, picking now, you know, there could be change of player, change of manager, change of anything.
You've got a history of good predictions.
So, right, okay. Where's the first game at
First game is at Anfield.
Okay, so Liverpool will win at Anfield. They beat all the big teams at Anfield. So again, I'll go 3-1 again.
Okay. 3-1, and then second game?
Jose's always happy, isn't he? Getting a board draw against the big teams. What should we say here? Liverpool score goals. I'll say, do you know what? I'm going to mirror the game. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah. Cool. So then El Clasico, obviously, as you said at the start, how did it feel scoring in an El Clasico? What makes that game different?
I think it's generally regarded as the biggest game in the world, biggest club game in the world, isn't it? You know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're huge clubs, huge clubs. So I think the build up to the game, knowing the importance of it, knowing what it means to the fans, you know, the whole buzz about the place is
Do you have to carry a different mindset as a player? Obviously, kind of you were there during the Galactico era. You know, Barcelona had the likes of Ronaldinho, Iniesta, Xavi, Puyol. Do you have to carry yourself slightly differently being surrounded by that calibre of player, or are you like, I belong here, I deserve to be here?
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely think that you deserve to be there, yeah. I mean, if you don't think like that, it just showing your performance. You wouldn't even get to that level in the first place if you were, you know. So you got to. It's easier said than done, of course. You know, I had total belief in myself, so you know, because I could do it, and then I proved it to myself I could do it. So it just feeds. So yeah, that's fine. The one thing that I would say is different about playing in El Clasico is that I wasn't worked up like mad about it. When I was growing up and I was playing against Man United, I wanted to kill them, you know, I wanted to, we've got to win, and it was sort of took over your life a little bit in the lead up to it. El Clasico, I wasn't brought up, I wasn't born being a Madrid fan, I don't hate Barcelona, I've got nothing against them. I know it's a big game, so I want to do well, but whereas in Liverpool, when you're living it and you pull up at the lights going into training, you're driving home, you've got people beeping that, come on Saturday, come on, you got to win, you got to beat it. And it's sort of all encompassing. You go out and your mind's not clear, you know, you're thinking anything but football. You want to kick him and I'm going to kick him and I'm going to punch him and I'm going to score against it. And it's just like, just concentrate now. And so I think, you know, when you're a foreigner, let's say, in that type of game, you can actually focus on what you've got to do.
Okay. Well, I think we've been talking for way too long. I've been loving this chat with you, so thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Giving us your insight. There were way more questions I'd love to ask you, but thank you so much.
No problem. Good to go down memory lane.